Praise be to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash, the Mohana to Zed, and Apostle of Betimiston. Peace, blessing, and salutation to the Akim who are pushing these truths to the four winds of the heaven. It is kind of night, so I'll be talking very slow. So, Salaki to you, brothers. I avoid making noises. So, I'll be reading from the book of Ezekiel 38, man. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against GOG and the land of MAGOG, and the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesies against him, and say, Thus says the Lord God, Behold, I am against thee, O GOG, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. Man. So this is talking about Esau, man. Don't be deceived by the word GOG and MAGOG, and you will be thinking that this is talking about the sons of Japhet, man. This is talking about the Edomites who dwell in the land of MAGOG and GOG, in the land of Meshech and Tubal, man. Let's go to verse 4. I will turn thee back and put hook into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thy armies, horse and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sort of armor, even a great company with backward huge of them handling swords, man. So this is talking about the Lord will bring, or the Lord will put in the spirit to this Edomite country, to this Edomite people who dwell in this land known as GOG and MAGOG, Meshech and Tubal, man, so that, amen, they will fight mainly against Babylon, man. Persia, Ethiopia, Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet, man. GOMER, all his band, and the house of Togoma of the north quarter, and all his band, and many people is even. But thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou guard to them. After many days thou shalt be visited in later years, thou shalt cover the land that is brought back from the sword, and it is gathered out of many people against the mountain of Israel. Man. So this is talking about the true Israelite, man, which have been always west, but it is brought forth out of the nation, and they shall dwell safety all of them. So when people read about Ezekiel 38 and 8, they think that it's talking about the fake Jews, man. They be saying this war is supposed to happen when the Israelites are in their land. They have been gathered from all nations to their land. So this can't be talking about, amen, the so-called Latin and Native Americans and the Negroes, man. Amen. Many people get thrown down by Ezekiel 38 and 8. Man. This is just a twist and turns in prophecy, man. As many twists and turns you see. Verse 9, thou shalt ascend and come like a storm, thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, though all thy band and many people see. So for this to happen, this nation, this GOG and MAGOG, Meshech and Tubal, Persia, Ethiopia and Libya, must come first into an alliance, man. They must form first an alliance for them coming against Babylon, man. For thou prepare and prepare for thyself, thou and all companies that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Man. So this is talking about them coming to an alliance. And going to verse 9, so shall he ascend and come like a storm, thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and all band and many people see, man. So all of this Edomite nation, man, talking about Russia, Turkey, and Iran, where they will come together in Libya and Ethiopia. Before that, before them going to war, they need to form some kind of alliance. and I have a video which show this alliance have started to be formed. That says the Lord God, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall bring calm into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of the unwalled village, I will go to them that are at rest, and dwell safely in all of them, dwelling with walls and having neither bar nor gates. So Ezekiel verse 38 and 8 and verse 11, when people read about those verses, they get messed up, man. So they think this will happen after we go back to the land of Israel, which is false, man. And the other thing that this will be talking about is those fake Jews, man. You don't have a clue, man. To take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thy hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nation, which have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land. Sheba and Dedan and the merchant of Tarshish with all the young lions thereof shall say unto thee, art thou come to take a spoil? Hast thou gathered thy camp to take a prey, to carry away silver and gold, to take away cattle and goods, to take a great spoil? Therefore, son of man, prophesies and say unto Gog, thus says the Lord God, in that day when my people of Israel dwell safely, shall thou not know it? And thou shalt come from the place out of the north part, though many people with thee, all them riding upon horses and a great company and a mighty army. So this is telling you, this Russian know who are the true people are. Because they have those icons. And in their choir they sang a song saying that that song was going to that I see the land of our adversary, which is America, destroyed by nuclear missiles. And at the end they finished, you Negro continue to sleep. They finished with words like that, you Negroes continue in your sleep. So they knew the Negro, Latino, in Latin America as the true people of the Bible, man. But they have an evil thought, man. They want to come against that land of Israel, man. And thou shalt come up against my people Israel, cloud to cover the land shall be in the latter day. I will bring thee against my land, that the heaven may know me, when I shall be sanctified in thee, O God, before their eyes, man. So this Gog and Magog, the Russians know who are the true peoples of the Bible are, and they know they are Gog and Magog. So they know about Ezekiel 38 and 39. Man. Thus says the Lord God, at those of whom I have spoken in old time by my servant the prophet of Israel, which prophesied in those days many years, that I will bring thee against them. So the Lord is talking with Gog, man. He's telling you, you are the same people which I spoke with my servant, man. So Russia will be fighting this war while knowing they are Gog and Magog. You see, and it shall come to pass at the same time when Gog shall come against the land of Israel, says the Lord of God, my fury shall come up in my face. This is talking about an actual land, right? For in my jeers and in the fire of my wrath have I spoken, sure in that day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel. For that the fish of the sea and the fowl of the heaven and the beasts of the field and all creeping things that creep upon the earth and all men that are upon the face of the earth shall yet my presence in the mountain shall be thrown down, and the steep place shall fall, and every wall shall fall on the ground. And I will call for the sword against him throughout all my mountains, says the Lord. God, every man's sword shall be against his brother, and I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood, and I will rain upon him, upon his band, and upon the many people that are with him. I will overthrow in rain and a great hailstone and fire and brimstone, that I will magnify myself and sanctify myself, and I will be known in the eye of many nations, and they shall know that I am the Lord. You see, this is talking about ww3, man. And those chariots which will come, you know, Gog and Magog will win ww3, man. And they will be fighting America and Israel and Saudi Arabia. So in the midst of ww3, The chariot of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai will come, and they will destroy uh, the army of Gog and Magog. Ezekiel 39. Therefore those sons of man prophesied against Gog and say, thus says the Lord God, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. I will turn thee back and leave by the sixth part of thee, and I will cause thee to come up from the north part. I will bring thee upon the mountain of Israel. I will smite thy bow out of thy left hand. I will cause thy arrow to fall out of thy right hand. Man. So this is talking about this Russian, amen. They won't be willing to fight, but the Lord will put the spirit in them to fight. Thou shalt fall upon the mountain of Israel, though all thy band and all the people that are with thee, I will give thee unto the ravenous bird of every sort, and to the beasts of the field to devour. Thou shalt fall upon the field, they have spoken, it says the Lord God. I will send a fire on Gog, and among them that dwell careless in the eye, they shall know that I am the Lord. So I will make my whole name known in the midst of my people Israel, and I will not them pollute my whole name anymore, and the heathen shall know that I am the Lord, the Holy One of Israel. Behold, I come, it is done, says the Lord God, the day whereof I have spoken. And they that dwell in the city of Israel shall go forth and shall set on fire and burn the weapon, both the shield and the buckler, the bows and the arrows and the handspurs and the spear, and they shall burn them with fire 7 years. So they shall take no wood out of the field, neither cut down any out of the forest, for they shall burn the weapon with fire, and they shall spoil thee that spoil them, and rob those that rob them, says the Lord. So we burn those weapons with spiritual power, man. And it shall come to pass at that day that I will give unto Gog a place thereof, a grave in Israel, the valley of passage of the east sea, and it shall stop the nose of the passenger, and they shall bury Gog all his multitude, and they shall call it the valley of Hamgog. So let's go and see Isaiah 66, and I think the last verse, man. Isaiah 66 and 24. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of men that have transgressed against me, for their home shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be an abhorring unto all flesh, man. And when it's talking about their fire not being quenched, it's not talking about they will burn forever, man. And in our memory, Gog and Magog will be burning, man. So we will remember that war forever and forever, man. You see what I'm talking, man. And when it's talking about that, two said will be burned with an everlasting fire, it is talking about they will be burning in our mind, man. And America will be burned. That the smoke of America will ascend forever and forever, man. It's not talking about America will be burning forever. America will be burning in our mind. We will commemorate the destruction of America. So we remember forever that America was destroyed with fire. And here, when it's telling you their fire will burn forever in Isaiah 66 and 24, it is talking about we will commemorate ww3 and the destruction of America. So we'll be remembering Russia, Gog and Magog being burnt by Yahweh Hashem Yahushai through our solemn feasting and whatever, man, we will be having in the kingdom to commemorate this destruction. See, so let's continue. And it shall house of Israel be burning them that they may cleanse the land. Yeah, all the people's land shall buy them, and it shall be them removed that day. I shall be glorified, says the Lord God. And shall save out of many of continual employment, passing through the land to bury with the passenger. Those remain upon the face of the earth to cleanse it after the end of 7 months, they shall say. So that's it, man. So let's go. Let us go to see the alliance which is formed. The alliance which is formed. the alliance which is began to be formed between GOG and MAGOG and the GOMER, man. The network here is kind of slow. Let me go.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Dina Calmetti here, and for today's broadcast, we have a lot to talk about. And I first would like to focus on Russia, Iran, and Turkey. Now, over the years, we have seen these three nations draw closer together. Well, now they're looking to make their alliance official. Russia announced that the three countries would meet next month to jointly resolve the Syria crisis. The Russian and Iranian leader will be welcomed by the Turkish leader on September 11th. It will mark the second time this year that the trio has met to discuss their involvement in Syria. But it is also thought that the cooperation could expand into a strategic alliance for future geopolitical affairs. The Russian presidential spokesman confirmed that an official alliance was in the works. He also stated that the work is almost over. We are one step away from finalizing efforts to create a Syrian constitutional committee. It goes on further to report that Turkey and Russia have been growing closer since their decision to purchase Moscow's S-400 missiles over the U.S. Patriot ones. Turkey has also stood behind another of Russia's allies, Venezuela. And speaking of Venezuela, just on Thursday, Russia and Venezuela signed an agreement governing visits by the country's warships to each other's ports. And meanwhile, Iran has warned the world that all enemies must leave the region following the release of the Grace 1 tanker, even as Russia backed Iran in its concerning stance. After the release of the Iranian oil tanker, the head of Iran's navy warned all countries must leave the region, stating that the Islamic maritime resistance is being formed and developed. The era of plundering the region's assets is over, and enemies must leave the region as soon as possible. Otherwise, they will experience a humiliating exit. And in the same day of the release of the oil tanker, Iran held joint naval exercises with Russia in the Persian Gulf. The United States has no plans in leaving that region. In fact, Poland has stated that they may join the U.S.-led coalition through the strait. So definitely a very tense situation. However, I would like to move on and talk about China and Russia. It is being reported that apparently China and Russia are continuing to fly their warplanes near South Korea. Chinese and Russian warplanes have increasingly nosed around and veered into South Korea's airspace, conducting close patrols that allow Beijing and Moscow to test the air defenses of the U.S. and its allies in the region. The aerial campaigns come as Beijing vows to strengthen its military alliance with Moscow, heightening tensions across the Asia-Pacific region as the U.S. and China both jockey for power there. The Korean Peninsula is once again providing a convenient stage for military provocations, just as it did during the Cold War. The Chinese and Russian jets fly near the coastlines of South Korea, a key Washington ally that hosts the largest U.S. overseas military base, as well as U.S. missile defense systems that has drawn Beijing's anger. While many of the air maneuvers don't violate international law, according to South Korea's military, they do challenge Washington's patience. It was much less common for Beijing or Moscow to conduct such flights earlier this decade. But South Korean officials say that the uptick that began in recent years appears to reflect a marked policy change for both countries. The flights around Korea hit an inflection point last month when a Russian command and control plane flying with Chinese nuclear-capable bombers darted into South Korean airspace, which by international convention extends 12 nautical miles beyond a country's coastline. South Korea responded by deploying 18 jet fighters and firing hundreds of machine gun rounds. Until the incident last month, the warplanes' forays hadn't pierced South Korea's claimed territory, but they have breached South Korea's self-designated air defense zone, which extends scores of miles further into the surrounding waters. China's warplanes have entered South Korea's air defense zones about 30 times this year. The number of such missions totaled 140 last year and 77 in 2017. Meanwhile, Russian warplanes have breached those zones about 14 times so far this year. It goes on further to report that U.S. officials have repeatedly labeled China and Russia's growing military bond and regional ambitions as a chief security threat. In a publicly disclosed June policy paper, the Pentagon said Chinese-Russian cooperation is increasing and that the two countries are seeking to render the U.S. a weaker and less influential power. And as the U.S. moves to counter that threat, China and Russia are saying they have no choice but to be more aggressive. And the Straits Times is reporting the White House has advanced a proposal to sell U.S. $8 billion worth of advanced F-16 fighter jets to Taiwan, a move that will likely anger Beijing. Marco Rubio, a Republican on the Senate Foreign Affairs Committee, called the administration's decision to forward Taiwan's request for the 66 F-16s to Congress for approval as an important step in support of Taiwan's self-defense efforts. He stated, as the Chinese government and Communist Party seeks to extend its authoritarian reach in the region, it is critical that the United States continues to enhance our strategic relationship with our democratic partner Taiwan through regular and consistent support. He also stated that I urge the Senate Foreign Relations Committee and House Foreign Affairs Committee to quickly advance this critical arms sale. Meanwhile, North Korea has fired 2 more missiles into the sea, the 6th in just a month. It comes amid anger in North Korea at the ongoing U.S.-led military exercises with South Korea, which the North views as a rehearsal for invasion. And there also is growing frustration in Kim Jong-un's regime at stalled talks between the U.S. and North Korea over his weapons program. The unidentified projectiles smashed into waters off North Korea's eastern coast on Friday morning, and they are likely to be the same short-range rockets used in recent launches, which the North Korean leader said would cause inescapable distress to a fat target. North Korean state media previously described the weapon as a new type, large-caliber, multiple-launch, guided rocket system, but no specific details were given. The launch came after North Korea issued a statement berating South Korea, saying it is senseless to resume peace talks while the joint U.S. military drills continue. The statement released by the news agency also complained about drones and fighters purchased from the United States and plans announced this week to upgrade South Korea's missile capabilities. It goes on further to report that North Korea spokesman also stated that we have nothing to talk about anymore with the South Korean authorities, nor have any idea to sit with them again. The North spokesman also described Moon as an impotent guy who was overcome with fright. He said that Moon had no standing to talk about engagement with the North because of the ongoing military maneuvers. North Korea has stated that until the United States and South Korea end their military exercises, that they will continue to fire their missiles, and that is exactly what we are seeing. So we may see more in the near future. And as always, I will continue to keep you updated. But I would like to move on and talk about India next. It is being reported that India has vowed not to fire their nukes first, but the defense minister has stated that that may change in the future. India has stuck to its commitment of no first use of nuclear weapons, but future policy will depend on the situation, stated the defense minister on Friday. India declared itself a nuclear weapons power after conducting underground tests in 1998, and the longtime rival Pakistan responded with its own tests soon afterwards. Since then, nuclear experts say the rivals have been developing nuclear weapons and the missiles to deliver them. In a visit to Pokhran in western India, the site of the nuclear tests, the defense minister stated that Pokhran is the area which witnessed firm resolve to make India a nuclear power and yet remain firmly committed to the doctrine of no first use. India has strictly adhered to this doctrine, and what happens in the future depends on the circumstances. It goes on further to report that at the time of the tests, India said it needed a deterrent against nuclear-armed China, but has also been concerned about Pakistan's nuclear capabilities. A political defense expert said the government appeared to have an open mind on the issue of no first use of nuclear arms, and the comments could be aimed at Pakistan, which has said previously it needed to develop small nuclear weapons to deter a sudden attack by India. Finally, a report to the defense minister stated, "Make no mistake, this is by far the highest official statement that India may not be forever bound by no first use." And as tensions continue to rise between India and Pakistan, the Times of Israel is reporting that the IDF had attacked Hamas targets in Gaza overnight, Friday and Saturday, in response to a rocket that was fired by a Palestinian terror group into Israel earlier on Friday. The IDF stated that a short time ago, IDF warplanes and aircraft attacked 2 underground terror structures of the Hamas terror group in the north and center of the Gaza Strip. The attack was carried out in response to the rocket that was launched from Gaza earlier tonight. The IDF will continue to act against attempts to harm Israeli civilians and sees the Hamas terror group as responsible for all that is done in the Gaza Strip. The rocket that was fired into Israel earlier was intercepted by the Iron Dome defense system and caused no injuries or damage. So another very tense situation. And I will continue to follow this report and bring you updates. Meanwhile, I would like to move on to this last report. It is being reported that the United States has a new hypersonic missile that is faster than the speed of sound. President Trump's administration has repeatedly developed a deadly new long-range hypersonic missile which could be a game changer in the ongoing arms race with Russia and China. A key weapons developer is set to release a new hypersonic missile which could counter Russia's efficient S-400 system. The long-range hypersonic weapon was announced this week after the group had worked closely with the U.S. Army to develop the technology. It is set to be a huge upgrade on the Tomahawk cruise missiles used on Syria last year. According to a document detailing the weapon seen by Defense Bloc, the mobility of the LRHW is part of a wider strategy to expand and modernize U.S. military technology. The report reads that it will bring online a new class of ultra-fast, maneuverable, long-range missiles to neutralize enemy defensive weapons with rockets launched from trucks with transporter erector launches. According to the report, it will travel faster than the speed of sound after being launched from ground and vehicle-mounted platforms. The missile is also said to equip a maneuverable hypersonic warhead, making it effective but unpredictable. The projectile is a standard prototype ballistic missile encased in a canister, but its size is a huge upgrade on its domestic rivals. So the arms race continues, and unfortunately it's only going to escalate in the future. And as always, I will continue to keep you updated.
So man, you see many things going on, man. China, India, Pakistan, India, the Israel, and Palestine, China and Taiwan, man. So, hey, man, you see. So, let me finish with a scripture here. Let me finish with a scripture. Let me finish with one scripture here. Amen. My phone is kind of slow. Let's go. Scripture through. Habakkuk 2 and 2. And the Lord answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may learn that readeth. For the vision yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. So we are now seeing the alliance is being formed between these GOG and MAGOG countries, man. And the other block between America and Israel and this other country, man. So it is about to get spooky, man. You can keep on pushing. I hope the lesson was edifying. Till next time, shalom.